What do Trump's DOJ, Ghislaine Maxwell, and a minimum security prison have in common? A backroom deal you weren't supposed to know about. The Justice Department says they want the Epstein transcripts unsealed, but the truth is in what they won't show you. I'm going to walk you through how this transparency move is really nothing more than a cover-up, and why the victims are still waiting for justice. Trump's DOJ just made a big flashy move in the Epstein case, and it's as hollow as a campaign promise in an election year. They're requesting the unsealing of Epstein grand jury transcripts. Sounds good, right? Sounds bold. Sounds like the right thing to do. This is nothing more than a PR stunt designed to feed his base without giving them a single damn thing. Even if those transcripts were somehow released, and experts say they won't be, Trump's own DOJ already promised to redact the names of any unindicted co-conspirators. And what that means? The powerful friends, donors and politicians who might actually face consequences, they'll all stay safe. Their names will all be hidden and kept out of the limelight. Now remember, that's exactly the information the public and his base has been demanding for years. But here's the thing. Even if these documents see daylight, you'll get nothing but a sanitized, self-serving version. The real truth will stay buried forever, if you let it. Now here's former Palm Beach State Attorney Dave Arinberg laying it out.
Is DOJ requesting the unsealing of Epstein grand jury transcripts? I mean, that is the most concrete step that the Trump administration has taken so far to try to advance a level of transparency. But will it answer questions that are still lingering about this case?
No, Alex, it's an attempt to placate the base. But even if the transcripts are released, and I doubt they will, because after all, Ghislaine Maxwell has an appeal pending before the Supreme Court, and she is urging the courts to reject the release of these documents because it could prejudice her own future cases. So I don't think they will be released.
So they're not going to be released in case it prejudices her case. Well, now there's something Trump can cling to.
But even if they are released, the Trump administration, in their own request, has said that they will redact the names of any unindicted third-party co-conspirators. That material is what the public is demanding. That's what the base wants. They want to know the names of the unindicted co-conspirators. So even if these transcripts are released, and I doubt they will be, they're not going to give the people what they want. This matter is not going away anytime soon unless and until the Epstein files are released, and that's not happening.
So there it is, smoke and mirrors. This isn't about transparency, it's about control. Trump wants to look like a crusader against corruption while making damn sure none of his friends get burned. It's the same game he's been playing for decades, his entire life. Point at the crime, shout about how terrible it is, and quietly protect the guilty if they're in your circle. You think that's bad? You should watch this video next, it'll surprise you. MAGA turns on Trump in a town hall meeting and gives him exactly what he deserves. Anyway, now back to this case. The DOJ move is nothing more than a distraction. A shiny object for the cameras, and while the media chases their release story, Trump's team is running a parallel operation with Ghislaine Maxwell that's even uglier. Because this isn't just about what they won't release, it's about what they will release.
Oh, no, I think this will be released, at least in part, because it helps the president. The reason why they had this private meeting between the number 2 person at the DOJ and a convicted sex trafficker was because they wanted information about Democrats who were involved, and they wanted information that would exonerate Donald Trump.
So let's get this straight. They only want information on Democrats so that they can exonerate Trump. Just think about the move they're making here. That in and of itself is also illegal. How are they getting away with this time and time again? They're committing crime after crime after crime, and the only reason they're getting away with it is because Trump himself is controlling the law.
And it looks like Ghislaine Maxwell is playing ball. How do I know? Well, she got sent to a minimum security prison, a club fed, right after the interview. And there's a possibility of a pardon down the road. So they want this information out there. But again, that information, just like the grand jury transcripts, are not going to satisfy the ravenous base who have been promised that there's an Epstein list and there's an Epstein file, and so far have received neither.
Now just take a moment and think about that. A private meeting between the second highest official at the DOJ and a convicted sex trafficker. all so they could dig for dirt on Democrats and exonerate Trump. And magically, Maxwell gets sent to a minimum security prison, the white-collar country club of the federal system. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see the trade here. She plays ball, he takes care of her. There's even talk of a pardon down the line. Oh yeah, this is coming. But here's where it gets worse. Even if they release her testimony, it's going to be cherry-picked. They'll throw the base a bone with a name or two from the other side, while the real power players stay invisible. The Epstein list Trump supporters have been promised for years, that's still missing. And if you think that's the end of the sweetheart deals, wait until you hear about Alex Acosta.
Everything. I mean, the whole non-prosecution agreement was signed by Alex Acosta. The fact that Epstein didn't serve any time in federal prison, the feds came in and they reached a deal with Epstein to have him serve some time in local facilities, state facilities, pleading guilty to state charges. I've never heard of that, where the feds come in and they do a plea deal to plead guilty to state, not federal charges. So there's a lot of unanswered questions.
There's a lot of unanswered questions. Is that not the story of Trump's life, never mind his administration?
It just shows that James Comer's list is not a serious one. That's why he didn't include Acosta. That's why he didn't include Trump. That's why he didn't include victims. But instead he has Hillary Clinton and James Comey and Robert Mueller. It's as if he took a list of Trump's enemies and threw darts at it to decide who to subpoena. The whole thing is just reeks of politics.
Now really, this is the part that should make your blood boil. Alex Acosta, Trump's former Labour Secretary, signed a non-prosecution agreement that let Epstein dodge federal prison entirely. Instead of serving time for federal sex trafficking charges, Epstein got a laughably light state sentence. I've never seen the feds negotiate to send a federal criminal to a cushy local facility for state charges. Has anybody ever seen this before? Why would they do that? Because the real goal? Nothing to do with justice. It was protection. Protection for Epstein, for his clients, and for anyone in Trump's orbit who might be named if the truth ever came out. And James Comer's so-called investigation? It's a joke. He subpoenas Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Robert Mueller, Trump's greatest hit list of enemies. But not Acosta. He doesn't subpoena Trump. Not even a single victim gets subpoenaed. This is nothing more than political theatre. Remember I said earlier this was about control? This is the final act. Rewriting history before it's even finished. If we let them get away with this, the truth will stay buried forever. If you want to see more stories like this, more truth, more meltdowns, click on one of these videos. And if you would be so kind, subscribe and comment. It really helps with the algorithm. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.